quite a number of improvements that the security agencies keep on learning and improving. What we need to do, Hussein, and this is where the problem is, the challenge is, there seems to be a lull in terms of the countering violent extremism, the recruitment, radicalization, that process. We need to retarget, reinvigorate the kind of ideological pushback programs that we started way back in 2015, very active in 2016. 2017 and 18, we seem to have kind of lowered our guard in terms of ideological pushback. Now, there are various ways that you can
because, I mean, Kenyans were talking, and when people saw this video of this suicide bomber,
that's right,
and people would actually ask what was going through that person's mind. And what exactly do you achieve by doing such a thing? And this is why you're talking about ideological, the battle for ideology. So how do you do it?
Yeah, well, you know, first of all, terrorism is 90% in the mind. Terrorists target the mind. And so that is where we need to fight that war. Part of the ideological pushback engagements, and without getting too technical, information asymmetries, clawback that Kenya has actually been implementing some of these programs since 2015 has yielded a significant, or has yielded fruits. Now, if I talk about ideological pushback, there are various ways to do that. Digital disruptions, and digital disruption is both the technical aspect, take down of terrorist websites, Twitter accounts, Facebook, and also developing counter messages that then you will release in the digital world. Now that forms the digital disruptions. What other countries have done and we are not doing, there's something called extreme dialogue. Extreme dialogue is when you actually use former combatants or former terrorists or violent extremists to come and speak to the young people who sympathize with terrorists. We've done a little bit of that here in Kenya. We actually brought in at some point somebody called Osama from the United Kingdom who's working with the Williams Foundation. He actually was recruiting for terrorists and violent extremists in the Bosnia War, and he came here and talked to the young people. We need to do more of that, because then these are the people that these young people that sympathize with terrorism would listen to, because they've been there. He was in Tora Bora in Afghanistan. He was in Bosnia fighting there. When they listen to him, and he will tell them, as he often does, that there is no jihad in such places, then these people will be disincentivized. Well, we have gotten them into the country. What we need to do is to get them here more often, and there are Kenyans who have actually, you know, lived their terror ways or violent extremist way. We need to get those people to speak to the young people that sympathize with terrorism. Now, this kind of extreme dialogue is something that we need to do. We need to find ways how we can get these people that have been engaged in terrorism, have reformed, and those who have been proven to have been de-radicalized and reformed can speak to these young people. You can see the age bracket of these young people. They don't understand what's going on in Somalia. They think they're going for jihad, but it's not.
Right, that is a very interesting concept you're talking about. I mean, somebody would ask, do you punish such a person, or do you give them a chance to talk to those who could be sympathizing with terrorism?
Well, there are those who clearly should be punished, and a number of them are in jail. There are those who are not in jail, like the example that I've given you. This is a person who is actually advising the government of the United Kingdom in London. He comes here fairly often. He was actually born here in Pangani, but he's a British citizen. He comes here from time to time. We need to scale up this kind of efforts. So this is just one of the ways of doing it. The ideological pushback actions are so many.